A lot of people don't understand that before Elvis Presley, no one rented stadiums. That's how big he was, and that's how big he is. He's amazing. And Shawn Klush is amazing. Joe Esposito, who was here for the opening of this theater, by the way, it was 5 years ago tonight that this theater opened. Yeah. So thank you. Joe Esposito, as you all know, was Elvis's best friend. They had a tribute to Elvis at the Hilton Hotel, a special anniversary, and Joe called me after the show and said, Red, I was on stage tonight, just off to the corner, and I saw Shawn Klush, listened to him, and I looked over, and for a moment I thought Elvis was back. That's how good this man is. That's how good. So, are you doing a tour around North America right now? And where's your home? Where's your home?
I live in Pennsylvania currently. I've been all over the place. Myrtle Beach was a home for me for quite a number of years. We're up here in Canada doing this portion of the western part. We were in Collingwood and Penticton recently.
Yes.
So we've moved our way over. We've been back and forth, but this is a little mini tour up here. We're doing 3-4 nights.
Oh, excellent.
Tell me something. You go to an amusement park as Shawn Klush. Do people do double take?
Yeah, it takes 5 minutes, man.
What happened? What happened?
Well, nothing. You know, what do you do? It's what I do for a living. It's not a bad thing to look like Elvis Presley. I'll tell you that. But you know, I accept what I do because I enjoy doing this, and if people get a kick out of it, then you know that's what it's for.
Just looking at you standing here, that is you, isn't it? There is no question of why you're considered to be the world's greatest tribute artist for Elvis. There's no doubt.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Whether I deserve it or not is a different thing.
Yeah, I think you deserve it.
But I'll gladly take it.
And you basically do the touring years and the Vegas years, is that right?
Pretty much. 60, 68, 69, 73.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
It's more or less in my body lent myself to it. I don't know how that happened. I mean, I enjoy the 50s music and stuff.
Sure.
That's just, I think I was born in that time period, and that's what I saw, you know.
And of course you saw the Hawaiian show, you saw the comeback special.
I did. I was little, but I saw it.
Boy, that comeback special knocked everybody's socks off.
Coming from a standpoint of what I do for a living, that's probably the most difficult era. It was a transition point for him, and you could see different nuances that weren't there before, but flashbacks of what was. And he combined the two of them, and that must have been heck, because it's a very difficult part of his career to reiterate or redo. Very difficult. Between the look and what was going on inside the man. You know, I mean, it's just he was a caged lion, boy. Not easy.
The guy that produced the show, Steve Binder,
yep.
told me that he was so worried that it wasn't going to work, that people would have forgotten him because of the movies.
Sure.
And it turned out to be one of the most spectacular TV specials in history.
Well, when you sit back and think about it, and this was put this way to me by, it was either Charlie Hodge or somebody, but when you take a guy who wasn't believing in what he was doing and put him out there and try to make him believe in what he was doing after 9 years of not believing, regardless of whether that stuff was good or bad, he's going to have a negative outlook.
Yeah.
So was it really that it wasn't going to be a success, or was he afraid of what he was already doing? You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's
I've seen you before in Penticton. You knocked my socks off. And I told the audience out here tonight, Shawn.
That I was a little nuts?
No!
Oh, okay.
I said, I had a phone call when you appeared recently in Las Vegas in July.
At the Hilton. Yes.
Yeah, at the Hilton.
Big accomplishment for
Said
us.
to me on the phone. He called me and he said, Red, I've just seen Shawn Klush. And I said, yeah, we've seen him before, Joe. He said, no. He said, I looked over for a moment and I thought Elvis was back. No, that's the greatest compliment.
That's an incredible compliment coming from a guy who's been around it for 17, 18 years.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal. Joe's a great guy. He's helped us a lot, said a lot. He's done a lot for us.
When you know a guy like Joe, and I've met Elvis's friends, if you can judge a man by his friends, he had great friends, and he must have been a great guy day to day. He had to be. Yeah.
I say that about we work with the Inspirations and the Imperials, and outside of their musical abilities, you meet them as people, and you get to realize, you know, they were all people, but they were special people, and you can tell they were handpicked, and you could see the adoration.
Look, girl.
Listen, Mama raised no fool.
Looks good, really good.
Okay.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Shawn, you're a younger man. Don't you find it unbelievable that the mystique of Elvis Presley continues after all these years?
I think it's fantastic. it's incredible, yeah, to be gone that long. And we were just commenting on this the other day as we were driving in here. Our audiences are mixed, and it's funny how you'll see the very old, you know, and then you'll see somebody 18, 19 years old down to 12, 13 years old. You know, it's
He has universal appeal, there's no doubt about it.
yeah, and everywhere. I mean, we've been to Chile and, you know, all these other places, and, you know, 25,000 people strong come out to see the show. It's just unbelievable.
Well, you're considered to be, and I would second the emotion because I met the man, I did some shows with him. You're considered to be the greatest tribute artist to Elvis there ever was. And how does that make you feel? I mean, you've worked at it, haven't you?
Since I was about 3 or 4 years old, I've been singing and listening. My dad was a DJ in the 50s, 60s, so I got, you know, I was the only child. Bit by the bug early, so to say. You know, it's the fans that put us there. I just keep working every day. I don't consider myself anything any better than anybody else. I'm just, you know, it all comes from my heart. So.
When were you first influenced, or when did you first discover Presley as a performer, as a singer? Was it on television, records?
Yeah, I was a child in the mid '60s, '70s. So my dad was a DJ, and had retired from that job and had gone forward. So every time a record came out, he would order one for the radio station, order one for himself. So, you know, I was the only child, and, you know, I used to do what Dad did. So I would play these records. He'd go to work, and I'd spin Ross about or whatever you know, he brought in. And it all started from there. But at the same time, you know, I listened to Mahalia Jackson, and I listened to, you know, Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra and all the other stuff as a child. Of course, the first thing I probably heard was the Grand Ole Opry. My dad was a big believer in making me listen to radio because he believed that video and television and all stuff robbed you of your imagination. He didn't have TV until he was 13 years old, so he didn't know. The idea of the Lone Ranger to him was in his mind, and then when he saw it live, it stole it away from him. The image was gone, so he kind of grew me up that way.
You know that one part of your story, because that's, I've been a DJ, I don't even want to tell you how many years, but that's how my collection got started, and your dad's, you know.
See, it's true, you know, and it's great, and I still have those records today. You know, I still have them.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Now,
Can't play them on anything, but I still have them.
oh, you can get the record players. They were the most popular item last year at Christmas for a lot of people. People that are audiophiles know that vinyl has a different sound. You do.
Well, of course I do. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does.
We started either.
You want to do a little blurb? Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm still rolling.
Put it on. Oh, Shawn, tell me about that suit you were dancing with. Start again.
This here suit?
Okay. Shawn, this is one of the suits Elvis would be seen on in those days, the tours in Vegas.
Pretty much, if you remember the documentary film came out in 72, 73. It was called Elvis on Tour, and this was the primary suit because he liked the color, and he wore it in numerous shows. I'm lucky enough to have the original designers, one of them anyway, Gene Dosette.
Yes.
And Gene designed these for us, and they're off the exact patterns, and he showed them to me. So, you know, I've been pretty lucky in the business to be able to touch so many people that were around or involved, and that's why I chose this one, because it, you know, I mean, it was something that he enjoyed, and it really comes across with the fans. They understand it, and they, you know, there's some that are very different and some that are outlandish, and, you know, but this happens to be one of those tasteful ones. Not because it's mine, but, you know, the original creators, you know, did that stuff, and he dug it. So.
You're a class act, man. Thanks for that. One thing, you know, it reestablished him, and people love him. There's
Sure.
no artist in the history of the world that sold over 1 billion records.
Nope. No, that's astonishing.
I thank you for keeping his memory alive. He was a great guy. I had a great time with him when he was here.
Sure.
And I've had a great time with you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.